Back, everyone, to the Strife Championship Series Qualifier 1. We are into the winner's bracket semifinals between Surreal Gaming and Senpai Please Notice Me. I am the source. Joining me is Lakes, and I think we're already into the draft.
Yep, absolutely. So very interesting first ban coming out of Senpai Please. They banned the tender pick. At first, I was questioning it, but then I started to realize that it's actually a really smart play. So you ban Tender knowing that Surreal Gaming's probably going to ban a tank, and that takes out a lot of support picks for that top lane. So they're trying to limit what goes in that top lane. And you want things like a Vex is a very good support. If you don't have something like that, you may have to resort to an unconventional styles of support, maybe a Trixie or whatnot, but they didn't want to deal with the control that Tender has in that top lane.
Yeah, it definitely caused them a lot of problems. There were many plays where Bo had gone in, gotten off a stun. The play wasn't working out, and then Tinder just pulled him back in. They had a lot of really good picks on Bo. And it just sort of it cut the tank line in half. It cut the tank line for Senpai Please Notice Me, because it'd be like, oh, well, our tank, he went in, he's tanky enough to get out, and then all of a sudden it didn't matter that he was tanky enough to get out because he was forced to stay in the fight way longer than he needed to. He couldn't peel to the right targets. There were a lot of really good Tinder plays. So, I understand why that decision was made. Senpai Please Notice Me picking up the Claudessa. So strong tank, very strong in both mid lane and top. And then Surreal Gaming grabbing the bow this time and the Featherstone. So swapping up a little bit of the roles here.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I think they banned out the Bastion because they knew that Senpai Please was probably going to first pick the Bastion. And they didn't want Shinjo, formerly known as Tang, to play the Bastion. He's a very good Bastion player. So that's specifically why they target banned the Bastion, knowing that they would pick up the Claudessa. And obviously, they're no stranger to bow play. OJC plays a very good bow, and Bone also plays a very good bow. But then on the other side, you have the Vex and Ray. Those are, once again, comfort picks for Senpai Please, and I expect the Vex to actually have a very huge impact within this second game.
We did see Vex banned out previously, so he'll be able to give them a lot of global pressure. Again, picking up that Ray. They liked having Nachiko on that Ray. That gave them a lot of roam potential, very good engagement, which you wouldn't think of from a Ray, but that rocket boots in with the stun has a lot of potential to just muck up team fights, because you have to work around that area. If you're stuck in the middle, you don't want to move to one side or the other, so you're forced to fight from that standpoint or take the stun. On the side of Surreal Gaming, they've gone with the Malady again. SMD loves that hero. He will probably play that as long as he's allowed to, I would think. And Harrower again for Tom Pass. Had some issues in the early game, was able to rotate it back in the mid lane, showed up when the team fights mattered, and did a really good job of focusing down the Featherstone on the other side. Pipiru was essentially hounded by the Harrower.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tom Pass actually played that Harrower very well. He followed up the stuns almost immediately, kind of sneaking into that backline in more of like a side flank type fashion. Was able to do a lot of damage, not really get CC'd out by that Ray. And that's essentially what they want to use that Ray for, is to kind of stop that hard engage and that CC out. And I think Ray is a pretty good counter for that bow. As far as the Vex goes, the Vex is one of those respect bans that a lot of people give Senpai Please, just because Kiwi Dude is a very good Vex player, and everyone knows that. So they try to limit the Vex play that they use, because he does it in a fashion where he supports generally a melee carry like a Minerva or a Hale, and they just turn into a late game beast because the Vex just offers so much utility. He has good poke, and he keeps that Hale alive. It allows him to farm fairly safe.
It's gonna be a little bit rough, and again, the double AD carry composition out of Senpai Please Notice Me, they seem to really like that. Gone with the Vermilion, gone with the Rook, so Featherstone swap for Rook. Rook has tons of potential to juke out plays and do a ton of damage. We saw Vermilion was able to do a lot of good damage from the backline. He did get zoned out of a lot of the fights, and I think that was the combination, Harrower and the fact that Malady on SMD, or SMD on Malady, was doing a really good job of threatening those squishies. So unless, I think they should probably put a little bit more focus mid. I don't think the Harrower is really the problem as much as the fact that SMD can pretty much pick 3 out of the 5 characters on that team. He can pick Ray, he can pick Vermilion, he can pick Rook. Claudessa Vex, Vex will probably get a little tanky. Claudessa better be tanky or they're going to have problems. So more than half the team is under threat. They need to shut down the Malady, I think, more than the Harrower this time.
Yeah, Senpai pleases picks overall. They're playing very much their comfort picks. Artemis is a well-known Rook. He's very strong in that bot lane. And when he's on Rook, he generally wins lane and doesn't leave. He is a consistent threat in that bot lane, and he consistently pressures your team out with that Rook. And then on top of it, you have the Vermilion. Once again, Vermilion's a very much a comfort pick. He didn't do as well as he'd like to on Vermilion last game, but I'm assuming that, not assuming, but I know that he's going to try to push to have a bigger impact on that Verm this game.
So final pick coming in was Hale. I really can't say much about the Hale. Where do you think he's going to be? Is that going to be top lane Hale along with Featherstone? Is that going to be Featherstone bot lane? Is it going to be Hale Harrower top or Hale solo? I think those are pretty much the 3 combinations we could see.
I think you're going to see the Hale Malady. Hale Malady in that mid lane. OJC is going to play the Hale. He's going to allow Malady at a certain point to kind of roam around the map. That Hale's going to kind of be there to just farm up and become a late game engage, followed up with a very good initiate by Bo. And then you're going to have the Featherstone in that top lane with the Harrower in the bot. So it's a very good, well-rounded comp. It's very dependent on being able to get your initiations off right. If SG does not, all the tools are in Senpai Please to counter engage and make SG pay for bad engagement. So I'm really excited to get into this match. Both teams are on very much comfort picks, and I think this is going to be a good game too.
All right, so we should be getting into lobby momentarily. Actually, we are already into lobby. 5-6 seconds. These guys were pretty quick on that one. Again, guys, this is the Strife Championship Series qualifier number 1. There will be a second next weekend. This is brought to you by Surreal Productions and GameVox Voice Done Right. GameVox is a voice program very similar to Skype and Mumble, but it has really good connections and a lot of great customization. You can do a lot with this program, set up a lot of separating rooms, and it allows for more than up to, or I think a little over 200 people. I think it's like 250 in a single server. It's what we use here at Surreal Gaming. All of our teams play and use their voice comms in it. Really, really great program, and we should be getting into game in just a few seconds. Who's going to be taking this game? Like, we saw Surreal Gaming come out with a pretty much a pick composition that had a sort of pick a target, let you engage, and then we start team fighting. What do you think with the composition that's been built so far? Surreal Gaming's is a little bit more on lane dominance, I would think.
Surreal Gaming is going to try to use the rotations to their advantage. By rotations, I mean they're really going to try to free up SMD to try to get as many ganks as possible in different lanes and kind of push the advantage. Senpai Please, in my opinion, has a very strong late game comp. Surreal Gaming's comp relies on very good initiation and follow-up and just overall execution of using their skills. Senpai Please, their composition has a lot of counter engage, very good engage themselves. So I would say that Senpai Please's comp is more forgiving if they're not exactly able to get the perfect engage off. Surreal Gaming, if they don't get the perfect engage off, they're probably going to lose majority of their team fights. So I don't know who to give the game to. I just really don't.
What about the lane? So we saw lane dominance-wise, bottom lane, early tower, I'd say the lane was essentially won by PP Brew. He put a really strong Featherstone, aggressed very, very quickly, got that tower down, popped his ultimate twice to pick that up. So, that was exceedingly aggressive play. Top lane went in the favor of Surreal Gaming. Mid lane, pretty even, I'd say. The tower went down earlier for Surreal Gaming, but that was essentially off of a rotation pick and then objective control. What do you think in terms of just the straight up lanes are we going to see?
So last game you expected to see the Harrower lose the matchup versus the Featherstone. Now the Rook actually has almost that same style. He's able to dominate that lane against the Harrower until that Harrower builds something like a Golden Protector. So I'm very much expecting the Harrower to rush a Golden Protector in the bot lane to kind of counter that big burst from the Rook and then try to win the trades with consistent sustained damage. As far as the other lanes go, you have Vex Verm in the top lane, a very, very common lane, kind of introduced to the scene by some of the older teams like Kaizen. Supernatural played some of it as well. So that's a very good, strong kind of go-to comp as far as the Vex Verm. But you also have the bow in that top lane. Bow can kind of make that lane pay if they miss position wrong. That bow with the stun, if they can bait out a good Vex shield, then the bow can actually get some really good damage off, followed up by the the Featherstone, and they're going to be able to do a lot of pokes. So it's fairly even, I would say, in that top lane. In the mid lane, on the other hand, I'm going to have to give the overall advantage to the Claudessa Ray, specifically because a lot of slows really hurt the Hail in the mid lane. And they do have the slow from Claudessa's passive E. And then you also have the Freeze Ray by Ray, which also is another tapering slow that just procs up passively. So they just have a lot of slows in this mid lane to try to counter this Malady Hail matchup.
Bunch of burrow bots being placed out in the middle lane here. It's going to be, again, Senjo and Nachiko rocking this middle lane, OGC and SMD. And you were right that it was OGC on that Hail. So very, very aggressive engagements there. Bone and Zevo making a sneaky play. They're going to go right on Alejandro. It's going to be Zevo up in the top lane, followed by this bow. They're going to get the stun down on Alejandro. A little bit more damage there. One more attack. He wasn't able to pick it up. The Q came out from that Featherstone, and it wasn't enough. Santanaka. I'm going to try and get more of these. Santanaka. I'm going to get these names right eventually. They've been tying me up a little bit. Santanaka did a really good job of defending off there, did good damage, and despite getting really low, I don't think he's going to have too much trouble in the early stages of this lane. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, PB on this Rook up against Tompus's Harrower. Who do you think is going to win this one? Because I think right now, I don't know. I think Rook is just terrifying in the early stages.
Well, early game, Rook's going to end up winning this matchup. It's going to be dependent on how quick the Harrower can get that Golden Protector to counter the all-in burst from Rook. So definitely expect that. That's going to be the turning point in the lane. And then that, especially in the top lane. The top lane was actually really huge. And then they're going in the mid lane with consistent trades.
Yep, huge engagement in the middle lane. OJC brings Sanjo down very, very low. SMD comes in to help Nachiko there. Nachiko pretty low on mana, so he's going to have to be careful about how far he steps forward. Although he did pick up, I believe, that early regen. Yep, he has the early regen, so he shouldn't have too much trouble. And, you know, I'm starting to understand a little bit more of how much value there is in early mana and early health regen in Strife. You know, ooh, nice combination coming out of SMD. He gets down, the knock up OGC and him gets stunned. And meanwhile, up in the top lane, again, the engagement onto Alejandro. He should be going down. Zevo picks up first blood, getting the kill onto that Vex. Now aggressing forward onto Santanaka. He's going to have to play a little defensively, as Bone has been doing a really good job of getting in the face of Alejandro.
Yeah, they did a really good job. So they do have a lot of poke coming out from the Featherstone and the bow in that top lane. And what they did was they kind of baited them to push out in that early game, that level 1, and they made the Alejandro burn his health pot early. So once they were able to get a decent amount of poke off, they were actually able to, at a certain point, once he mispositioned, all in him, and that's what they did to get that kill.
Yep, now OJC doing a good job of farming. Sanjo looked like he wanted to aggress. SMD waiting in the bush, is about to pick up an item. It wasn't a completed item, so I'm not sure what he grabbed there. Actually, no, it was his rocket boots. So there's the engagement potential there from SMD. You know, I think, like I was saying with the early aggressive regen, although they don't want to let me talk, Nachiko being very aggressive on SMD. He's going to have to dash away. The Burrowbot wasn't able to connect. That would have been a huge amount of damage there, and now they're going to be forced under the tower. Nice knock up there. OGC steps up, does a little bit of damage, but Claudessa is very tanky. Heals himself. Sanjo there. Ooh, Burrowbot hits OJC. He's out of mana. He's going to be forced to back.
Yeah, they're doing a good job in the mid lane. So essentially that Claudessa Ray at a certain point is going to try to outpush the Malady Hail, and that's actually going to be real key. So if you can outpush that lane, which they are able to do, they have all the tools in their tool bag to be able to do that, and miss the whirlwind from the Malady, they're going to be completely fine, especially levels 1 through 5.
Oh, up in the top lane again. Alejandro getting destroyed here. Bone just does not want to let him live for very long, but Santanaka turning out some damage back on Zevo, gets off that E from the Vermilion. What's that spell called again?
The what? Sorry.
Vermilion's E. Or, yeah, it's Izzy.
Deadeye?
Deadeye,
The
there we
increased
go.
damage and base attack damage?
Yeah, no, the Deadeye in combination with the W, which is, I should know this, I play a ton of Vermilion.
Piercing shot.
There we go. Thank you. This is why we have Lakes around, because he's the expert. He knows all. Lakes, how quickly do you think it's going to take for SMD to engage onto Nachiko? Actually, I can answer that one very, very fast. The stun comes down. Nice wall out by Malady, but I don't think OGC is going to be able to catch up. He's taken a very, very low by that Burrow bot, and SMD wants blood. He's going to continue to aggress forward. Heal coming out of Sanjo. That's going to bring Nachiko back up, and they're going to need to be careful. OGC is going to have to jump away soon because SMD has pretty much left him. It's going to be a Burrow bot. Kill pickup for Nachiko.
Yeah, that was actually a really aggressive play by Surreal Gaming. They really wanted that
again,
kill
up in the top lane. Bone doesn't want to let up at all. Goes on to Alejandro, but it's going to be the focus out of Zevo. Split focus there. Zevo wasn't able to cut the angle and get some shots off onto Alejandro, so just a little bit of aggression. No kill going to be there. Down in the bottom lane, Thompus and PPRU are continuing to farm out. It's going to be advantage to PPRU right now, but not by much. It's basically even.
Yeah, at this point, the Harrower, he's not exactly going to kill
Oh my god, Nachiko come with a nice rotation and picks up Bo. Bone may have gone a little too aggressive there.
I knew he was creeping around that top lane. I didn't think he was going to go, and I actually thought he was going to back because he was kind of low. I thought he was going to back and try to push the advantage in that mid lane because they did get the kill, but you see Hale kind of roaming around. He is level 6, so I expect an all-in engage here.
Comes in with the play, tons of damage on Alejandro. He now pops the ultimate, waits out till the stun is almost all the way through. Zevo picks up that one. His ultimate is running. Nachiko is going to go down. Double kill for Hale. OGC comes in with the rotation and gets the revenge for the kill on the Bone.
Yeah, really good play there. The Hale sat in that mid lane, waited exactly until he hit level 6, and around level 6 when those cooldowns are up, or that cooldown on the ultimate is up, he's definitely going to try to find places to roam, especially in the early game.
Down in the bottom lane, SMD wants to come in for this play. PPRU is going to be able to back up, but they want it bad. Thompson's going to pop his ultimate, dash away by PPRU. He's going to try and keep them under the tower as long as they can, but in comes SMD. Huge damage there, lands the Tornado, lands the Whirlpool, and that is going to be a kill going over to Surreal Gaming. They're continuing to aggress on the tower, but Nachiko is here. He's going to lay down the stun, misses it on both targets. Thompson to switch back into range for him. Takes a huge amount of damage from those Burrow bots. Those things are starting to hurt as we saw him pick up a really great kill onto SMD. So, I think it was onto OJC. So I'd be careful of Nachiko right now. He could blow up, I think, pretty much everybody on Surreal Gaming with the exception of Bo.
Yeah, but even Bo doesn't have those initial tanky stats. A lot of the damage soak ability that he has is from the passive of his Inner Rage. His Inner Rage gives him that reduced damage reduction by 10% while it's procced. So that's one
engagement
of the things
out of SMD. He's going to get the Tornado down. A little bit more damage on Nachiko, but a nice play in by PPRU. He's going to be able to pick up that kill. Huge burst out of that Rook. Let's take a quick look at his items. Power Boots, the Fell Blade, and a little bit of attack speed, so he's bursting pretty hard. And meanwhile, in the middle lane, Senjo duking it out with OJC. OJC wants a piece of him, but I don't know if he wants that as Vex is teleporting in. He's going to be able to get away from the stun from Vex, but if Vex lands that slow, it's going to hit him. Instant cleanse away by OJC. He's going to juke out the Claudessa. That Dragon's Reach wasn't able to land on him, so a really good play by OJC. Aggressive rotations in from Senpai, please notice me. They are not going to let up even when they're down in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was actually a really good play because they ended up burning the Hale's pincer, which is going to be big if they can kind of force fights around Baldir right now because they're able to CC up that Hale and burst them up without that pincer. So pincer is one of those key items that Hale will definitely run in a lot of competitive play.
Yep, down comes the totem from Bone up in this top lane. We haven't seen too much tower aggression from either team. It's been constant skirmishing, and now OJC rotating in. Nachiko is down here. Is he going to be able to lay in the engagement? He's going to get the slowdown. The stun comes out from Nachiko. That's going to stop OJC. Out comes the ultimate. Huge damage on a Nachiko. He's very, very low, but Thompus really isn't there to help, and now OJC is going to go down. They miscalculated the damage. One more basic attack from Thompus. He'll pick up the kill onto PPRU, but Nachiko is still there. If he can land a really nice Burrow bot, that's going to be the kill turnaround, but SMD comes in from the backside. That's the kill, but SMD will pay for it with his life. Senjo is here. Constant aggression out of both of these teams. Can they get onto Thompus? Thompus better be careful. He feels very, very aggressive. He's going to do a little bit of damage to Sanjo, and that is going to be the disengage. Was that even? Was that 2 for 2?
Yeah, essentially. Oh, I'm sorry there. Essentially, it was a 2 for 2. there's just so much aggression. I was actually looking in the top lane, hoping that they just all end each other, so everyone's just dead on the map.
Yep, huge aggressive plays out of both teams. We do see OJC back in this middle lane trying to get some tower damage down. This game feels like Season 1 League of Legends, to be honest. There's constant fighting. There's more rotations than you would have seen, but there's essentially constant fighting, and no one's able to push anything. Now, a little bit of aggression onto Sanjo Hara. He's going to be duking it out with OJC. Almost had that stun in there by Nachiko, and those Burrow bots are hitting pretty hard. I believe he's maxed that one out. It should be level 4. Yep, about 200 flat damage. It's actually 219 right now. And onto Sanjo Hara again. OJC does a little bit of damage. SMD is actually the one laying in most of the hurt. And this middle lane has been very, very aggressive. And as I was saying, why aren't these teams pushing the towers like we saw in the last game?
So both teams want to farm it out to the mid lane and in the mid lane.
Yeah, and the mid lane is just constant aggression. SOD got stunned up. He got the knock up on the Sanjo Hara. His heal is doing pretty well. I think he may have maxed that one out.
And in the top lane as well.
Yep. Duel up in the top lane. Oh my god, Zeal dives really deep under the tower. Is he going to live? That bow totem heals him. That is going to keep him alive. I thought he was going to go down there. Really deep, aggressive dive. He popped his ultimate, got off the kill with the last shot, and now they may be looking to dive onto Sadanaka. They're going to start to do some damage to this tower, and just as I was complaining about nobody pushing towers, they start a little bit of harass out there by Zeeble with that shield. I think this tower is going to go down. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, that's going to be the kill onto Sanjo Hara. He's going to go down. Ray rotated into the bottom lane, so they're going to be able to force Tapas away from this. The laser isn't going to land, so it's going to be a tower. So one tower for tower. No, actually, tower hasn't fallen in the top lane. It should be falling now, but constant aggression across the map. Surreal Gaming still an advantage. They equal the tower disadvantage. They equal the kills, and now they should be able to aggress in this mid lane. OJC and SMD left to destroy this tower on their own. I think Thomas did a good job there of drawing a number of targets without dying.
Yeah, he did a lot, but he also wasted his pincer. They were able to burn the pincer, which is kind of huge on Harrower. Harrower relies on being able to get in there without being CC'd and do a lot of his melee form damage. He definitely wants to get those procs off. Surreal Gaming, they're doing a good rotation. They realize that there's no one there to contest it, and they're going to end up grabbing a free Baldir. As the game goes on, as you can see the GPM graphs, you see Surreal Gaming roughly about 500 plus GPM, a few of them quite a bit over, SMD's a little under. At this point in time, if the GPM kind of stays around this right here, I'm really scared of a really fed Harrower, Hale, and Fetterstone with the amount of farm that they're consistently getting.
Yeah, Hale, I think has been underestimated in terms of his potential, although I think SMD's done a very good job of not getting shut down. Sanjo Hara walking into that bush is going to find OJC, so no engagement there. He's going to be able to walk away from that pretty much scot-free. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, people were getting engaged on top. He feels confident. He wanted to go in for that. He's going to be able to juke away the ultimate, dashes back and gets on a huge amount of burst, but I think he's going to fall for this. Can he get out of there? No, it's going to be Sanjo Hara coming in from the side, rotates down, very quick. Good communication from Senpai, please notice me, and they're going to pick up essentially a free kill on what should have been a disengaged 1v1. I think Tompas went a little deep there. Now OJC, he wants the 1v1 fight, is going to go on to Sanjo Hara, and should be a bit of a disengagement for the moment.
Yeah, that was actually really unfortunate. I would have liked to see them stall a little bit for that kill, because that would have gave Vex some of that split gold, because Harrower does have tons of farm. At the time, he was about over 400 GPM, and if they were able to get the kill, the Vex, because that Harrower was doing so well, would have gave him a bigger split and essentially kind of boosted his GPM to help him build some of those item thresholds.
Oh man, OJC, he may have gone a little aggressive there. I thought they were going to be able to engage onto him. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Zevo and Bowen, they've pretty much stayed up here and pushed. That has been their main focus. Just continue to push, continue to farm, and it's gonna be Nachiko coming from the side. Nice stun out by Santanaka, but it's not gonna be enough. Dash away by Zevo. Bone is gonna be to walk away from that, and now Vex, he's ulting in, doesn't get a stun down onto anyone, but can he slow down Zevo? The ultimate comes out to Zevo. He's doing a good amount of damage there, and a nice ultimate in from Bone is gonna be able to keep them busy. I don't think there's a rotation in here, and Bone is just trying to get away. Santanaka should be able to pick up this one. He'll get that with a piercing shot, but meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Sanjo Hara is gonna go down. Now they're turning on to PP Roo. Can OJC make this dive? He's already used the ultimate. They're going to need to coordinate this very, very well and watch their health bars, bringing down the minions. They're taking a little bit of damage here while they wait for the minion wave to group up with them, and they may not decide to dive this. It might just be the tower. Actually, teleport coming in from, I believe, Vex that has the teleport boost. He's going to go in instantly against Octopus. Alejandro is going to go so low, and it's going to be Thomas picking up that kill. Now, he should be able to walk away from this. OJC continuing the dive. I don't know why he wants this so badly. SMD should be able to pick up the kill. No, he won't. Thomas goes in. Is he going to die for this? He will. So it was an aggressive double kill for, it was 2 kills for the side of Surreal Gaming overall, but they gave up 2 and straight to the Rook.
Yeah, I would say that's a win for Senpai Please. They traded evenly. They kept their tower. Rook ended up getting a double kill. That's going to put him around roughly that 500 GPM mark at the time. And there's no objectives picked up off of that. So I would be perfectly fine with putting that gold right into my Rook's pocket.
Should help him pick up something nice. He has his Demon Fang power boots. Probably is picking up a full power Mystic Dagger, I believe. We'll see if I'm right, see if I'm learning a little bit more about these item decisions. A Crushing Mace out of the Vermilion, so wants to cut through the armor, and I think that's a fair decision with what Bo has been building. Bone has been taking up very, very quickly. A good bit of regen there as well, and looks like they want to make a play in here. Alejandro has stepped pretty far forward. They're going on to Santanaka. Huge burst out of Zevil is going to bring him down. Now Bone is there as well. Yep, no, they will be able to bring him down, and it's OJC on top of Alejandro, continuing to chase him out, is going to dash forward. Hasn't popped the ultimate yet, but is forced to back off as PPRU was there to back them up. Meanwhile, SMD going on to Sandro Hara. Tompus is there as well. The stun should be coming out of Bone. There's the stun as well. Nice combination play by Surreal Gaming. Zevil will pick up that kill, and they should be able to aggress onto this tower.
Yeah, this is one of those things. So there's some things on the map. There's a lot of objectives that they can be getting right now, and that top tower is definitely one of the priorities. I would expect them fully to rotate and grab this Baldir on their way out as well. So that's a huge gold swing. Not gold swing, but gold advantage going towards Surreal Gaming.
Yep, extending their lead. It's about a 75,000 gold lead. They should probably push them up, I think, what, maybe about 85,000? How much gold do you really get off of a Baldir?
It matters on how many people participate in it. So
okay,
the less people that the less people that participate in the killing Baldir, the more gold it gives, obviously. So it scales with how many people are actually doing it, which is nice, because at that point, lower levels, you need a little more people to get it efficiently. So that's why it's advantageous to try to get it with as little people as possible while still putting pressure on the map.
It was evil. Sneaking around this side, he wants Santanaka, pops the ultimate, dashes in, a little bit of damage, lands the Q. One more auto attack, but it's going to be an ultimate coming in from Alejandro to disengage that fight. He said, if you keep going, you're going to die for it. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Bone wants to regress onto Sanjahara. He's popped his Everwinter Charm to try and slow down Bone, but Bone is still going to get the stun off. OJC coming in from the side. Tompus is there as well. Are they really going to die this? Sanjahara is getting really tanky. It's going to be a nice knockback onto OJC. Santanaka did decide to rotate in there, and it might be a huge team rotation for Pipiru. It's going to be Tompus coming in from the side. He's going to transform into that beast form and try and make this play happen. Teleport coming in from Alejandro, and will they be able to get the slow down on Tompus? They do. OJC is there. The snipe comes out of Nechiko. There we go. That took me a few too many seconds. Nechiko. It wasn't able to land onto OJC. Now on to Sandrahara again. Not the targets either team wants to be engaging on. Ultimate comes out of OJC. That might have been premature. Sandrahara is doing a really good job of tanking up and doing damage. It's going to be OJC going down. They do pick up Sandrahara, but Bo is trying to lock down Nachiko. A little bit more damage. The Vex rockets are doing so much to Bone here. SMD comes in, gets the knockup, but it's not going to be enough. Pipiru is there as well. They need to disengage this. One kill for Pipiru. Can he pick up a second? He's going to get the stun down onto the Tompus, and they really, really want to do this. SMD comes in with the wall, is able to stealth away, and he's not able to get the kill. He was forced to back off. Zevil comes in and picks up Pipiru. Double kill for him. He picked up a kill on the rest of that backwalk. I believe it was, yep, it was Nachiko, and that's going to be a good rotation. Well timed by Zevil, and great kiting out of Surreal Gaming.
That was completely unfortunate. I totally thought Pipiru was going to be able to pull out not one kill. I thought he was going to be able to finish off 2 kills by picking up the Harrower and the bow. But there was a good, not necessarily wall, because Zevil was coming around that backside. They were going to get it anyway. But the good Curse Wand that slowed up the Rook from being able to get in there and actually do some damage.
Great wall there by SMD. That's going to slow down the play. So it's going to be a essentially free Syndara going over the side of Surreal Gaming. They should be able to line that up down the middle lane and just push straight through. Now, we did see an aggressive dive out of them last game. OJC went very, very deep on his Bastion dives, and it actually resulted in Senpai Please Notice Me getting a couple of revenge kills and stopping those Krytos pushes. Do you think we're going to see that again as he's running Hail, whose engagement is pretty much, a one-and-done situation?
Absolutely. I do think that even more so now that they're running Hail, that it's very imperative that they get a really good initiate off, and they're looking to get it right now.
Rotation in onto Sandrahara. He's going to instantly cleanse away that CC. Nice double stun onto OJC and Bone, but Bone is going to continue to aggress forward. Sandrahara is going to go down. Do they want to keep going with the fight? I don't think so. They picked up one free kill. Now Krytos is pushing. They'll be able to get that out of combat regen, get their health bars back up. And I believe that this was pretty detrimental. Double push strat. So a 2-1-1 or a 1-2-1 push strategy coming out of Senpai Police. They realize they can't do anything about this middle lane. Even with 4 members, they want to take 2 towers, 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom lane. Do you agree with this push? I mean, this might be a little too aggressive of a base race. Actually, it's going to be the engagement on Santanaka. He's going to be forced out of the fight. Vex is actually coming in, lands on SMD. A nice snipe by Rook is instantly cleansed away. Alejandro is going to go down. Really good play there. SMD was able to walk away from that. Santanaka very, very low. Can they dive? OJC, he really wants it. He picks up that kill. Sendrahara is there to try and slow them down, but Krytos is still alive. They got the generator essentially for free. Now Rook is in the middle of the fight, goes on top of Tompus, is trying to pick up OJC. He's going to be able to hide and seek away, but he'll die for that one. Didn't pick up any kills, didn't get anything for that dive, and this may be the game. Tompus taking a lot of damage there. He's tanking up the turret. Sandrahara, can he finish them? He's gonna get 1. He may be able to get 2. He's trying to pick off Bone. Bone is gonna be forced away. Tompus is gonna go down. Double kill for Claudessa. Can't she get any more? She's really low on mana. OJC is there doing a good amount of damage, and now Alejandro is back up. They aren't gonna get the Dragon's Reach. The slow from Alejandro doesn't land. That might have been too aggressive by Surreal Gaming.
Yeah, really aggressive dive, but it wasn't bad. So they ended up picking up that generator in that mid lane. They did lose that bot lane. I don't agree with them actually doing the double split push to try to counter it. I think what they were trying to do is put pressure on the map, which would make Surreal Gaming go back. But with Krytos coming down, pushing down that mid lane with full health, there's absolutely no reason why Surreal Gaming would even respond to that, because they knew it was going to be a guaranteed generator.
Yep. While Deer going over to the side of Senpai Please Notice Me, trying to claw back a little bit of that gold difference there. With the compositions, with the advantages that Surreal Gaming has, let's take a look at this Fetter Stunt. I think he just picked up the recipe for his Crushing Mace. He has the Zealous Blade. He's got a Stone Skin, Malady, Cursed One, Cloak, as well as the Pendant. Has a huge, has a Power Relic as well. Harrower, that's a scary build. Crushing Mace, full attack speed, and I thought they were going to go there on SMD. You just look at a lot of the power that Surreal Gaming has. Is there an item counter? Would a couple of Hexbanes answer some of the problems that Senpai Please is having? Actually, they go on to SMD, get some good damage, get the Dragon's Reach back. The laser is going to miss, but it doesn't matter as Pipiru is there. Now Sandrahara engaging onto Tompus. Are they going to be able to disengage this? Zeevil is coming in. He's popped the ultimate, wants to go on to Pipiru. Is he going to be able to pick him up? It's actually Pipiru. He picks up the double kill, a 1-for-1 trade there. Tompus is very, very low. Those Burrobots are doing good damage, and the bottom tower is still up for Senpai Please Notice Me. This was a very good engagement and a really good position. Tompus is going to try and bring that down. The Dragon's Reach hits him, he transforms out, and now Vex jumping into the back line, wants to get on top of Tompus, but is going to have to essentially be forced to back off Bone. Taking a lot of damage there, gets stunned down. It's going to be another kill. No, he's able to dash away. Can Santanaka pick up the kill? In goes OGC, pops the ultimate, picks up an instant kill. Onto Alejandro, onto Nachiko. Can he pick up another one? He's going to dive deep. He's going to be able to jump onto Sandrahara. They can't keep the dive going because the tower is there. Disengaged from the moment by Surreal Gaming, but a huge play out of OJC. I thought they were in trouble, but clearly they can turn it around.
Wow, what a bait. So Senpai Please played that really well. They thought they were going to get a couple kills, maybe pull something off of it, but I think they were baiting, specifically waiting for that Hail ultimate. I think if Senpai Please would have backed off, Surreal Gaming would have backed off as well, and Surreal Gaming just not
Dive
letting
on
up.
Sandrahara. He's going to go down. 3 members were there. That's going to be another tower going down in favor of Surreal Gaming. They've got that 1 rocket minion left to help them pick this one up. They have enough attack speed. Harrower's essentially full attack speed, so he's almost as good as another 80 carry right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Harrower late game. He hit that item threshold. He's got his Crushing Mace. He's got his Zealot's Blade. He's looking really good. Pipiru was actually able to get a pick with Zevo going in, so they traded the 1-for-1. Good trade overall for, I would say, Surreal Gaming. At this point, they definitely wanted Pipiru. He has a lot of damage on his team, or in his build, and he's a big damage dealer on Senpai Please. So it's a very unfortunate that they ended up going 1-for-1 trade.
The high ground sneak plays. We've been seeing these a lot whenever teams gain advantage, and it's going to be Sanjo Haru who's going to walk right into that. Takes a ton of damage there. He's still alive. Nice stun out from the Ray is going to slow them down a little bit, but a full engagement. Bone was able to get onto Alejandro. He's going to go down. Nachiko being chased out by OJC. One more auto tech. That's going to pick him up. That's going to be 3 kills. Topas dove deep and was able to pick up Sanjo Haru after that engagement. Nice play by Santanaka. Is he going to be able to pick something up there? The Rook ultimate comes out. The head spin was there, but Bo didn't have the health to do that one. Pipiru and Santanaka slowing Surreal Gaming down and picking up some nice revenge kills there. They do get 2. Are they going to be able to engage onto another target?
At this point, it's just really fun to watch some of this micro coming out from the players. Artemis Pipiru has had a very good ultimate and good engaged trades with what he's trying to do here. SMD, he's running around the map, stealth, trying to get as many kills as possible. Satanaka, he's found himself in some really rough situations sometimes with his team kind of dying all around him while he's sitting here trying to farm or push lanes. I feel like at this point in time, Surreal Gaming just has a very dominant gold lead, and they're getting Baldir. They're definitely trying to extend that lead. At this point, I would say Senpai Please needs to get picks. They have to get picks, and they have to stall the game out. And not necessarily even go and try to get objectives off of it, but really just try to get these picks to make Surreal Gaming's aggression stop.
Yeah, I mean, their pitch potential is pretty good. Sanjo Haru waiting around the side is going to knock back OJC. I don't think they want to really go onto him right now. He's gotten pretty tanky, and it's going to be the Sindara start for Surreal Gaming. Now, Senpai Please notice me. They're rotating around. They do have that stealthed up Nachiko, that stealthed up not sure why I can't remember the name of Ray for like 3 seconds. Bone actually aggressing very, very deep. He's going to force PPU to use that hide and seek very, very early. Sanjo Haru taking a lot of damage. Both tanks being juked down, but it's going to be Tapas. He's going to fall. That was huge from Nachiko. An amazing laser. And now Bone, he's not going to be able to get away, and that may be Senpai Please notice me taking away this Sindar. They should be able to pick that up. S&D is going to stealth forward. He's going to do a huge amount of damage there. They're going to get one. Can they get another one? Zevo is trying to duel. He doesn't have enough. Actually, he does. He does pick up the double kill. He's able to do that while the rest of his team is picking off a few more targets. It's going to be the Sindara for the side of Senpai Please notice me, but the fight was just not played properly. Nice Everwinter charm out of Sanjo Haru. Should be able to help him get out of there. I believe SMD will have his jump back up momentarily. Gets down the wall. Is he able to get the slow? No, doesn't get the slow or the knock up, but Senpai Please notice me. They had it. They had the turn, and just SMD made a play.
Yeah, I mean, SMD is one of those, he's the hero zero type people. And currently right now, he's been showing that he's been that hero, especially in this tournament. And in some of the other tournaments like the SPL, he's been that hero type person. But sometimes he just can be really aggressive and other teams can make him pay.
Yep, so they do have the Sindara, or the Krytos. This could give them the push potential to bring back a little bit of that goal difference. It is getting pretty considerable. It's at about 18,000 right now, or probably about 20,000 or so. Krytos goes forward, stuns down the tower. Sanjo Haru is there. They do need to push forward a little bit more. They need to get in their face, or Surreal Gaming is just going to destroy the Krytos, and they're only going to get one tower for this. It's only going to be one, and I guess it's better than nothing, but they probably could have done more if they were willing to take a risk.
They're so far behind. If they would have taken a risk, that definitely would have been the game, because Surreal Gaming could have easily just pushed up and grabbed more objectives, maybe even ended the game. So I feel like that was actually a good trade. They got the one tower, exactly what they needed, gave them a little bit of gold, and it's going to help stall that game out.
Oh, nice high ground play by Senpai Please notice me. They're trying to get onto Tompus. They missed the Dragon's Reach. Nice stun onto Bo on Bone, or Bone on Bo. There we go. Bone will be able to get away from that, but was forced to use a couple of those abilities, and I think his rocket boots cooldown. No, actually, he was able to just sort of walk away from that. So that was good play by him. Vision control for Senpai Please Notice Me. They're going to be looking for a pick. OJC is probably a really good target for them to grab, considering the engagement, but it's going to be Bone trying to step forward. Nice Hexbane, although I don't think they needed it when they had the stun combo down. Huge Burrow Bot is going to do a lot of damage. The Ray ultimate comes through, but Nachiko can't do anything. It's going to be Senpai Police falling. OJC was able to get in there, do a really nice ultimate, and knock up so many targets. A great stun there by PP but they don't have the tanks to follow up. The carries are kind of low. SMD almost died there. I think, PP can he get away from this? Bone won't be able to get the stun down onto him and Santanaka, and it's gonna be Surreal Gaming getting that out of combat regen and starting to push in onto another generator. They may just go for the win.
At this point, I think they're going to try to go for the win. They have 20 seconds down. It's very possible that they can try to get that. They have good ultimates up in the bow, so I think
tons
that they're
of
going to
damage
push it here.
onto PP. Down comes the bow totem. That's going to keep them alive. It's going to be Surreal Gaming taking this 2-0, and they will be the first team to qualify for the Strife Championship Series. 1 of 8 teams. We'll see how Senpai Please Notice Me does down in the losers bracket.